I think as a foreigner living in Taiwan, I always have to kind of keep in the back of my mind why I chose to live in Taiwan, because there's other places I could have gone to, especially right now because the kind of market is really hot. I'd say probably Vietnam is like the place where everybody wants to go. But back when I started teaching English, long time ago, it was Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan, right? So I was thinking, okay, well, I'll go to Taiwan because that's kind of the way that I was thinking or whatever. And it was just based on like salary. And to be honest with you, I had no idea about anything coming in here and whatever. I had no idea about language, but at the same time, it was like, okay, I was just focusing on there's a job, right? And in South Korea, I didn't know anything about the language either, but I had some Korean friends back home in Canada. So even one of them like gave me this huge dictionary. Back then it was like paper, right? And it was like really heavy. And I don't know why, but I just took it. The fact that I was going to be traveling around, I think that was probably a little bit counterintuitive. But anyway, the point is that, Korea, Japan, it was like kind of the, I've done that, been there, done that, right? And I didn't really know what was in store in Taiwan because, in Taiwan, foreigners, I guess they can apply for permanent residency once they fulfill like certain requirements. This is why you're probably going to see like lots of foreigners, I guess, whatever. They stay here for like a long time. And I was kind of like in that batch, I guess. Some of the people that they've been like, I guess, people that have stayed here longer than I have. And I met them and I've talked to some of them. It's kind of weird, right? Because you think that if we're all kind of in the same boat, then we would probably want to like all like stick together, hang around and stuff like that. No, it's not really the case. I'd see that more like, I've heard like in Vietnam and I heard like in Japan anyway. In Japan, like I met like lots of like cool foreigners, like whatever. And it was different, right? The vibe was just different. People were just, because the thing is that in Japan you could do like lots of really cool stuff. I'm not saying that you can't really do lots of cool stuff here in Taiwan too, but it's just kind of a different animal. In Taiwan, what can you do? You can go up and down the island, right? And like it's really easy as far as like, even if you don't have a car. But anyway, I've lived all over Taiwan, so that's kind of like another thing. I've been like in the middle of Taiwan. I've been on top of Taiwan, and I think it's weird, right? Because not a lot of people probably have done what I've done. In terms of like working and like going here and there, whatever. They usually like once they settle on one city, and usually it's by accident almost, then they'll just stick with that city and then that's it, right? Say if I'm going to be in the middle of Taiwan, then I'm going to stay there. I'm going to go to Taipei, then that's I'm going to stay there, right? Because that's what they're used to, and they already like established, I guess, some semblance of like a settling point, or they have a couple of friends there, like whatever it is, right? And I think it really takes a lot, usually salary, to uproot yourself and then go to another place in Taiwan. Usually it's like some friend is going to tell you like, oh yeah, well, there's a job here for you in Taiwan, you should come. And that's usually the big point. I still remember this like one story when I was like working at this private school, and I met this dude. He's not that much younger than me. I'm going to say probably 5 years. And he decided, yeah, I'm going to go from Taiwan, I'm going to go to Shenzhen. Blah, blah, blah. But like, there's a huge culture shock, once you go over to mainland China, dude. And, I tried to explain it to him, but he was just like, oh yeah, I know this, I know that. I have people over there, blah, blah, blah. And, I don't know what it is, maybe it's ego or something, that a lot of, especially new teachers, are gonna say like, I know about this already. And I'm like, no, you don't. It's like I was, I am still kind of working on this online platform, and it's for tutors, right? But some newer teachers will be like, "Oh, I'm a teacher." You're not. No, you're a tutor, dude. Because with the online platform, there's no, you don't have to like yell at anybody. Well, you might, but it doesn't do anything because you're on the phone. You don't have to do any lesson planning. There's, you don't have to like organize a class, make sure the class comes down, blah blah blah. You don't have to do any of that stuff, right? So, it's kind of like they're making their job more important than it is. Anyways, guys, hope that resonates with you. You got to figure out why you're in Taiwan, and then everything's gonna kind of come together.